Good evening. Tonight is Monday, July 6, 2026, and the time is 7:01 p.m., and I will call this meeting to order.
Ms. Puderball?
Here.
Mr. Kramer? Here. Mr. Stephanie?
Here. And normally we would have a prayer, but the gentleman giving it tonight is not here from Hope Church, so we will pass on that, but please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I've now heard from 4 people about the soccer tournament tonight, so we'll see if we can get out fairly expeditiously, and we'll just move right along here. So you got the message. Okay. All right. So we will, it looks like we have no administrator report since he is on vacation with the family. So, all right. So we will go straight to you, Kara.
The only thing that I have to add, and I'm going to give you an update that I received from Stephanie Goff this afternoon. This is an update about the road situation in Barry's neighborhood, landings at Sugar Creek. As you know, Magnolia Meadows has been experiencing some settling issues.
Magnolia Meadows?
No, it's Magnolia Trace in the landings at Sugar Creek. Has been experiencing some settling issues. This is kind of a timeline of what has been done so far. The county engineer, sanitary engineering, the developer, and the developer's engineer, as well as a geotechnical engineer, are all working together on a solution. We have some borings that we have examined that we are looking at a solution, some additional remediation, and we hope to have a timeline to the neighbors in that development, hopefully within the next week, to share with them about when those repairs and when that final paving can be expected.
So Stephanie has responded then?
She has. She just added.
Okay,
so
gotcha,
what
okay.
I did in order to facilitate getting a timeline from the engineer's office is I created the timeline, and then I sent it to her and said, hey, is this timeline correct?
Okay.
She made a couple of minor modifications, just calling out that the roadway has not been accepted by the township. It is not a township road. It is still owned by the developer. And also where we are now, the county and the township collectively are looking at coming up with an agreement with the developer to move forward.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
she wanted to make sure that we added ourselves to that decision-making body.
Okay,
So that's where we are.
good. Is this shareable with the resident I've been in
Absolutely.
correspondence with?
I will
Okay,
forward it
so-
to you. I haven't yet, but I
Perfect,
got
okay.
it late today, but I'll forward it to you when I get home.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, we do have one resident that's been reaching out to me for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I've kept Kara in the loop while Barry's been gone, but I'm very concerned about this, and they're saying the neighbors, it's been over a year where they're driving on gravel, and now even the gravel isn't totally smooth, so they're just tired of it not being fixed and trying to understand what is going on and what we're trying to do about it. But as Kara just explained, it's one of those, we need to make sure it's correct and done in accordance with county standards before we accept the road, because then the township becomes financially responsible for it. So that's the big key, is we don't want to accept the road until it is properly built and constructed.
And you may have said this, but when are you letting the residents of the area know? Because I know there's other, I don't know who Carolyn's talking with, but there's.
Yeah, so we're working through the homeowners association to get that information out, and then Fisher Homes has the contacts of the kind of the most impacted ones, so both of those entities is who we're working through to get that information out.
So are you waiting then until next week to put it out? When you have
Correct.
more-
So we have the report from the geotechnical engineer, we've got the borings and what they told us, and the geotechnical engineer has suggested some mitigation and a solution, and so we're in the process of reviewing that and deciding whether or not that's acceptable. So that's where we are.
Great. Thank you for doing all that,
welcome.
Kara. That is great. All right. Okay. Any other questions for Kara? All right. Okay, we will move on to the fiscal officer, and I know you just completed our audit, and I will say, can I toot your horn a little bit here?
Well-
Or you want to say something
ahead.
first? Okay, well, go
Okay.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll report. Okay, so I did, as the chairperson, I did get a summary from Perry and Associates CPAs, and they said that disbursements are properly classified and allocated, and the receipts are appropriately classified in financial statements, and everything has been appropriately classified and reported. So no knowledge of any fraud or suspected fraud affecting the township, and basically, the township's compliance requirements for contracts and agreements has been applicable, and we're doing well. So overall, it was, I'd say, very, very good audits for us, and I know we liked working with this company in particular because they were very expedient, and they didn't tie up our conference room with piles of papers for like half a year, I think we did
Yes,
last
yeah.
time with the state. So you can give more details, but I just wanted to say they did a very nice job, so thank you for that, Rich.
Actually, I was going to say a lot less. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
But we appreciate it. But that is true. My comment was going to be that the audit went very well, and it's in the process of being submitted with the state. And then we'll wrap up in detail, which I know Carolyn had a little head start with that. She had to sign some initial documents back to the independent auditor, which would then be sent to the state. So short, no findings, a couple administrative suggestions that they made that we'll work through that are not part of the audit report, but overall, very good, and really, it's a compliment to the department heads and their ability to work with us on budgeting and timing of their needs and transfers and increased appropriations, that kind of thing. So, and really, I give a lot of credit to Dee. I think she's doing a fantastic job considering coming in here with minimal experience in that, but well ahead of where we thought she'd be at this point. So I think you...
100%.
Yeah, you hear from her regularly, or you interact with her more than I do, but in person, and she's fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
she's a super important member of our team, so.
which really allowed the auditor to not have to be here so long because of her ability to get what the auditor needs in a timely manner, and so ideally, if we could move to more of electronic filing of our records, might be quicker, I guess, even though this is very quick, but we're working towards that, but they do require hard copies at times, so even if we had electronic copies, we'd have to print them off for them, so very good, yeah, so thanks.
Is there a software they recommend for electronic filing?
There are a lot. They're expensive. I mean, Beaver Creek, they'll probably pay $70,000 a year, and I know their budget's 3 times ours, but, so it's just a matter of internally, if we can scan and electronically save the documents, I think that's something internally that we can work on.
Yeah.
But overall, well, very pleased with it at this point. So thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll move on to fire, and I know you, Chief Buffenbarger, you said you had something to say about our ladder truck.
Yeah, so I think
There,
Barry
so
put
the-
all of you about the
Yes.
estimate that came in from Heritage Fire on the repairs for ladder 72. And so then we turned around and had Heritage give us another estimate. So the subframing from the cabinets on the rear of the truck sit on a subframe, not the frame of the chassis. The chassis frame's fine. That subframing was damaged significantly. And so the 2 quotes, the higher quote was replacing all the subframing to new. The lower quote was we'll repair and straighten as best we can. Well, the 2022 truck, we wanted to last at least 20 years. So his insurance adjusters were there today taking a look at it. The big expense on the estimate is the man hours they figured in to repair it. They figured in 4 months of man hours down. So the insurance adjusters assured me, he goes, that's way high. So how this works is we're going to do our part here. We'll go to Heritage, Sutphen basically, and we'll negotiate it. So he believes it'll come down significantly. So
Good, okay.
that's where we're at.
That is good news, because Barry actually mentioned to me 4 to 6 months, so I thought 4 months would be faster, but you're saying it could potentially be
Could be.
a lot less than that, hopefully. Okay.
Now, where is this
All right.
being,
Over in Columbus.
in Columbus, or is it being done in Springfield?
Well,
They have a
some of it
repair
will have
office.
to be done apparently in Columbus,
Okay.
and it may come back to Urbana.
Urbana.
So initially, they want us to deliver it to Columbus.
How long will it be out of service?
Potentially 4 months.
You're right, 4 months sounds good.
Better than 6.
And we'll use mutual aid to resolve that.
As far as the ladder truck, yeah.
Right, any other questions?
What did we do at the air show?
We had crews go up and provide EMS coverage.
Oh, we darn, I didn't know that.
They always ask all the area departments
Sure.
to pitch in, and gives our guys an opportunity to go up and serve, watch the air show for free.
Sure, do we
got to
publish
show
that
off
on our
new
website?
ATV.
This is the first I'm hearing about it, so no, we have not,
Okay.
but we can.
Yeah.
In the
Do
report.
they have a picture, maybe?
Yeah, do you have any pictures? Yeah.
They have- I think
Have
it'd be
Jess
cool
get a
to
hold
put
of
that
me.
on our
Yeah.
website, that we participate in the air show.
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
We got it.
All right.
And we didn't get mutual aid report this week? From the fire marshal? Wasn't
I thought I did send it to you.
Well, Sarah was on vacation too. It was a bit of a week.
Okay.
I'll be sure to forward it to you.
All right, you get a pass. All right.
Can I ask real quick if the microphones are on?
Oh.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
We just have to talk closer to him.
Maybe if we speak into them, it would be beneficial. Sorry about that.
That's novel.
Thank you, Donna. I just noticed that we didn't, I always like the mutual aid.
It was prepared. I neglected to include it in the packet. I will make sure it makes its way to you.
Okay,
And I'll update the packet online so the public can have it as well.
Okay.
I will look at it there.
Great, thank you. All right, and now we will move over to police.
Nothing to add.
Chief, what is Secret Service training?
I was going to ask that too.
What's targeted community violence prevention?
That was just a class that Officer Clark attended that was put on by the Secret Service office locally.
So what is that?
It's secret.
You know, our guys are working with Secret Service, I want to know what the heck's going on. Okay.
Just to be familiar with possible areas that could be targeted. Yeah. So it was a regional training, not specific to Sugar Creek, but we did send Officer Clark to it. He requested to go. Yep.
Great, thank you, Chief. And thank you for coming to the podium. I forgot our new procedure, so we're still in training, okay? We will work on that. All right, any other questions for Chief Brown? All right, we will move over to roads and, oh, go ahead.
Motorcycle accident?
So the motorcycle accident occurred in Centerville. It did not occur in Sugar Creek Township, so my officers responded only to assist with some traffic control, but it was all investigated and everything by Centerville PD. It happened in the city.
And it was on Feedwire Road?
No, it didn't touch Feedwire. It started in the little strip mall on Wilmington, east side, where Godfather's Pizza used to be, and that motorcycle shop. Two individuals, both in their early 20s, the deceased is 21, was at the motorcycle shop, got on their racing-style motorcycles and drove through the parking lot, and apparently the one lost control and went at an excessive amount of speed and just went over curbs and bumps and landscaping, and unfortunately hit a tree and had some pretty a lot of trauma to his body. Yep.
But only one person was on that motorcycle, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
His buddy was on his own bike.
Oh.
All right, yeah, always hate to hear that. All right, now we'll move to roads and services.
They have been busy. Justin has been getting so many things done with a full complement of staff back there. It's remarkable. So they are getting projects taken care of and getting things handled.
Gotcha. And
There's still a backlog, so we're working on getting where we need to be.
Got you. I did ask Barry, are we 100% compliant with the 811 training that Stephanie Goff was saying all of our roads and services
I believe so, but we
people
can
had
check into that and
had to
confirm
attend?
for you.
I know
Yep.
she sent out something, and we had a lot of signatures on there. I just want to make sure we are
Yep,
good to go
I will
on that.
confirm.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else? All right, IT?
I've got nothing. In my report, I said that we had a meeting with tech advisors and a state agency that is charged with some of the cybersecurity assistance that townships and other entities of government are going to be required to meet with the new House bill that came down. So we're working on, there's a contract that we would need to sign to partner with this agency. So we are working through those details right now. That's all I have to report.
All right, thank you. All right, trustees, and we'll start with you, Jody.
Sure. Actually, this is sort of for Kara with IT. Do we have anybody that mans our website, or how does that work? Is that all done in-house?
It's all done in-house.
Is there any, maybe in the future, that somebody would be doing it? I just feel like our website is really hard to find information, and it's somewhat outdated. I was looking today for some information, and there's pictures, and I know Fred just said put pictures on, which would be great, because some of the pictures are from 2022. And I just feel like if we want to be this community that we're sodding out, highly, our website should maybe meet.
Yeah, so I think it was on my report. It was on my report maybe last month. So the Ohio Township Association just partnered with a new company to do website hosting for local governments. We use a company called Civic Plus to do our hosting. So they provide sort of the framework for the site, how to navigate through it. We are in the process of investigating moving to a new website provider, and those are all kinds of things that we can go through if we were to do that. We couldn't do it last year when we learned about the new website program through the OTA because of the way that our contract is with Civic Plus. We would have had to give them notice for last year, but that is something that we're going to be working on this year. Whether or not, we weren't considering having the company do the updating of the site. That's something that I think that I would always envision happening in-house, but certainly looking at how folks navigate through the site, how things are arranged and organized. We've had kind of the same framework for a long time, so it probably does make sense to look at that. So we can do that.
And then,
Is there anything specific that you saw that was?
yeah, it's just, it's not consistent. Like, for example, if you look at the police department, they have a mission, or it might be vice versa, a mission and a vision, but when you go to the fire department, there's maybe only the mission but not the vision. Pictures are outdated. Our information isn't all current. There's just a lot of inconsistencies on it. And then my next question to that is, maybe when was the last time missions and visions were done, and maybe we should look at those and have those updated as well, because, I think call volume has increased, and, there's just been a lot of changes within the community, and I don't know when they were done last, but I just think it should be something that could be looked at to be more consistent. And I did have another question about it, and I can't remember. Let me see if I have it written somewhere. Oh, I know, strategic plans. Do we have a strategic plan? And so that, I couldn't find that on there, and then I don't know, and the breakdown, does each department have a strategic plan? And, looking forward, like, this is where we want to be, this is what, it's just hard, that information is hard to find.
So that information doesn't exist, so that's why that information was hard to find. The departments themselves do not have strategic plans. The township as an entity does not have a strategic plan. We have a long-range land use plan. I think that the trustees in previous years have talked about doing a strategic plan, so that might be something that this board thinks should be a priority. But that would be, that's why that information wasn't there.
Yeah, they're just, I feel like if we're trying to be open to our community, those things, if they were put in place, would be really nice to have, just so we had, and then we could even have a pivotal point to fall back, like, well, we haven't done this because we've been focusing on our strategic plan, and it's, you know what I mean? You can't
Absolutely.
do everything at once, but if we have some focuses, I feel like we might look more organized moving forward. So, okay.
So it sounds like when we get the new platform, once we get converted over to the new platform, it'd be a logical time to look into updating the website. So moving to the new platform would be step one, and then looking into it would be step two.
And we could figure out, even as just a team, what we feel is important or crucial to have there, and then move from that. I think that would be really nice.
Because I do know, I will agree with you as far as strategic planning, because we've talked just like the importance of PR and consistency and messaging and trying to have each department look similar and on the website, and it just hasn't happened. We're a small staff administrative-wise, and
No, I
trying to get it all
understand.
correct.
It was just some things that sort of stuck out to me, just trying to navigate through. If we were more consistent, we would look more organized.
Yes, I agree.
And then, let's see, I have, my next thing is, and Kara might know exactly, but I feel like since January, we've had several, resignations and different things. And I was wondering, when this happens, do we do exit interviews? I know some might have been a retirement, but if somebody has only worked here for a short time, are we looking in to see, are we doing exit interviews or getting any data on what's going on?
We do some exit interviews, I think at the discretion of the chiefs, depending on what issues they kind of think were going on. We have a lot of turnover just because of the nature of the business, police and fire, particularly fire with part-timers. We kind of set ourselves up as a training ground, and that kind of has been a consistent thing with the in and out. So I don't know that it's indicative of any larger issue going on in the departments, but that's certainly something that the chiefs kind of keep a handle on, and they'll do them from, if the conditions warrant it.
Right, okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I think we have another one tonight in here, so
Yep.
this kind of caught my eye. I did meet with Jeff Stewart last week, and Sarah Mantia, and then Wendy and Kathy from ODNR were there about the Tree Cities information. I did learn a little bit more about it. It's basically just a collaborative resource, and currently in Ohio, there's 4 townships in Ohio that are already involved in it. And I know I've shared, it's the 4 standards, and there's a committee, and when you meet your standards, when they offer grants and different things like that, it's easier to get those grants quickly, because if you have your collaborative team in place, you've already basically done what the grant is asking you for. So the real purpose is for grants and things of that sort. And it is $2 per capita, but they're wanting, nobody exchanges money. It's like, this is how much money you spend, and this is what we could offer in the end. But the parks is willing, if it's a park that is in Sugar Creek Township, if they do pruning, cleanup, plant trees, remove trees, whatever, that all goes towards that same budget. And they said it's really easy to get your budget every year to be.
So we can use money that the Parks Department expends on trees within Sugar Creek Township to meet that $2 per capita. Okay, that's great.
Jeff said he would be willing to be.
Kind of
part
quantify what that might be, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I understand in talking to Barry and just doing some preliminary analysis, we're probably spending about $10,000 a year as a township on just trimming, planting, maintaining trees, that sort of thing. So we're, if we have a population of about 10,000 people, that means $20,000 a year. So we're about 10K short to do that. So if, could you check with Jeff and find out if we could potentially make up that
Oh,
additional 10,000?
Yeah, he said that he would be
their
willing
budget?
to share
Okay.
their budget with us. So we
Perfect.
could get the budget that we needed.
That is terrific, because,
Yeah.
quite honestly, I did some homework on it, found out that, oh, by the way, we don't get $20,000, which we're kind of led to believe.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, but we have to prove that we spend $20,000 in tree removal and pruning and all that stuff. When Barry said it was $10,000, I felt that this was over. But if Jeff can come up with the rest of the money, that would be terrific.
Yeah,
So can you get with Jeff and get that done?
sure. And
So
eventually.
Can you get that to Kara, I guess? or
I
Barry?
can. Eventually, we would have to put it in resolution to pass if that's what we wanted to do and just move forward with it. But it's just a resource to offer to our residents if there's something going on with, something eating trees in a development. This organization will give you insight and help you figure out what it is, what you should do. They also said it helps with new developments. A lot of times, builders want to come in and just put in certain trees, but they can say like, this is best for your community or your environment or whatever. So it's just a helpful resource. So I just want to let you know that I did meet with them. And,
Well, that's good news. 'cause
Yeah.
I was- I was going to go down the other path.
yeah,
And I am interested, I know Hope Taft has quite a bit of interest in that as well, so I don't know, as you're looking at people in the community
be
to
on the
potentially, she could be very interested in
That would
being
be
on your
great.
board,
We should,
so
yeah.
I will, I actually have to, I will be seeing her briefly tomorrow, so I can mention that to her,
Okay,
too. We
yeah,
were
that would be great.
talking about this very issue today.
sure. So, yeah, I didn't have a lot of information or really understand it that well either, right? I was just kind of like grabbing pieces. But, I sat down and met with them, and so I hopefully got some of those questions answered. So, yeah, I think my other things were just the questions about that. And then lastly, I know, oh, Fred, I want to tell you this quickly. I know last meeting, we talked about the new athletic facility, and I talked to Greg Roberto today. He said that they're at 105K. They're a little short with what they need to actually complete it, but they got the okay from the board at last week's meeting, I believe it was. And they're starting to pull permits and hoping to break ground in September.
Super.
So they're at that. And then America 250 for the parks is Sunday, July 19th, from noon to 2. I know they still need help for somebody to grill their hot dogs. And if anybody knows of an organization or anything, they can reach out to Emily Borman for that. And then the last thing I just wanted to share is in August, when Round Canopy did the 2 paratroopers that jumped in, Bill Markham was in a tragic accident and has been on life support. And it's just, so it's really sad. He put a lot of time and effort into helping with that. And he and Art were the 2 that jumped in that day. So they went to Normandy, and on their way back, some of the guys went through Morocco, and they were on motorcycles and in a very rural area. So it took over 2 hours just to get medical attention. And then once they got him stabilized, they flew him back to Florida, and they put him in hospice care over the weekend and pulled all life support. So it's just, he's just. So.
I hate to hear that.
Every time I hear of a motorcycle accident, right, it's just heartbreaking, so.
1 week.
He was a great guy. So I wanted to share that.
Did you
Yeah.
say that was from 9 to 2? I thought it was from 12 to 2.
It's noon to 2. Yeah, but it's on the 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's it, unless anybody has any questions for me right now.
No, that was
Yep. Great.
good on the, I was ready to kill the
Tree City.
tree city.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't understand, I had to actually meet with them to learn more information and truly understand it, so it's not, it's just an advisory board, it's just to help out and be collaborative within the community, so.
Good.
All right, Brett?
I have three quick things. Number one, on Wednesday.
Can you speak in the mic, please?
On Wednesday, we'll have the ribbon cutting at Demarest Coffee Shop on Upper Bellbrook. So at 8:30 in the morning will be the ribbon cutting ceremony. And
8:30.
Demarest Coffee Shop will be officially open for business.
It looks so good.
They've done
does. I
a
love
really
it.
nice job. And Mrs. Demarest, mother and father are personal friends of mine from back in the day, so.
Could you speak up?
Are personal friends of mine from back in the day, and I've asked to get the first cup of coffee, so. Two, we got the Chamber of Commerce golf outing on August 6th. So far, 31 teams have signed up, and it's a new record, and it all looks good. And lastly, talked to a gentleman, Tom Kretz, who talked to me about something called New Community. And I wasn't aware of what New Community was, but apparently, if there's a new development, you can call that a new community, an overdevelopment or whatever, and you can add a tax on top of that.
Yeah, Liberty Center is a new community authority. That's how they were able to charge tax to some of those businesses in there. So yes, it's a great tool for sort of larger kind of economic development projects.
The mayor of Huber Heights told me that he funds all their projects through new communities.
Wow, that's,
That he puts one, I don't think it was a mill, I think it's 1%. 1% on there, and he funds the entire, his new projects.
that's interesting. That's something we'll definitely look into, understanding how Heber Heights is doing that, certainly.
Is it a business development or like even a housing development
Even
applies to
Could
that?
be a
Housing.
housing development. So I think it's too late to do anything with.
Yes, right.
We're not gonna undo Feedwire
Farms?
Farms. But I see other developments are coming, and I saw in your report that you met with another developer in the last month, so there's still more of that activity. I think that's something we really ought to look into.
Look into, sure.
And the school board, I'll defer to you.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. Well, I'll start with that then. So I did attend the Superintendent Financial Advisory Committee meeting for Fred, well, over the last 2 weeks. And the biggest thing, and I'll pass one more down here in just a second. The biggest thing that they were talking about in particular is when you look at revenues compared to expenditures for the school system, the expenditures start to take over above revenue starting in 2027. So that is given if one of their continuing levies does not get passed again. So they are starting to say that they want to start sharing more information with the community and just getting the community sort of ramped up to know that this could potentially be coming and looking at some of that information. And another thing there was quite a bit of discussion about is ed choice for the schools. And the discussion is that it used to be more of a financial decision on who got money to go particularly to private schools, Catholic schools, any private school. It does not apply to homeschooling, though. But one of the examples he gave was Summit County, and I sent this to everyone up here in an email, but they were showing in 2018, the taxpayers for just this one Catholic school paid $9,172 of taxpayer money to support 2 students. And in 2025, the taxpayers are now spending $1,590.112 to support 303 students. So it's, there's not you don't have to show near as much financial need. It's basically given to people that, depending on how big your family is, you could be living in $1 million house and still receive money to go to a private school. And in many cases, students that were already going to private schools are are getting, they weren't getting financial help to go to that private school before, but now that the Ed Choice law has been passed, they now get funding for that. So
Let me
they were talking about
understand
that
this.
problem.
As one who has spent a lot of money sending a student through private schools, I didn't get any money, and I know I paid the full freight, but what you're telling me is, if you can prove financial need,
And it doesn't, and it's not even significant. It's, the thing that I sent you actually shows the chart, but it's not very much financial need. So it's basically everyone that's applying pretty much
Is getting
it.
something.
Is getting
Usually,
something.
everyone will get at least $750. I think that's the minimum Ed Choice Award for the expansion scholarship. But you're absolutely right, that parents that sent their kids to Catholic school prior to Ed Choice expansion, that were paying $5,000 a year per kid,
keep going.
are now paying $0 per year per elementary kid. And high school kids, the scholarship is worth $8,408. So for high school, there's still a cost associated, because Catholic high school is about $14,000-15,000. But there is definitely an offset with that Ed Choice expansion for many, many families.
So I imagine you'll be giving us updates when you go back to the meetings, but that was a major topic of discussion.
Something that I thought was really interesting, and I wasn't sure that I was understanding the information you sent, because I saw it before the meeting. I think that it showed that Bellbrook had 231 students on the expansion scholarship, and I know that we've been talking a lot about the school census and comparing that to, 20 years ago, and we're seeing that the numbers are sort of stabilized, and I thought, 231 students that aren't in Bellbrook schools that are now going elsewhere because of that expansion, maybe that's those kids that we're actually producing that aren't going to Bellbrook schools because of the scholarship. So that was just an
One of
interesting
the residents that was attending, like part of
Yeah.
the board as a citizen that has students at the school, asked that question, and they were looking at statistics, and they don't think that
They don't think
there
that
wasn't
makes
a
a
direct
difference.
correlation.
So they don't think that.
Truly, people are just having less children, and the school, to compensate for that, is now, particularly like kindergarten, first grade, some of those are, the census is way down on the number of students, so they're shuffling teachers, where some years there'll be a second grade teacher, next year they might be a fifth grade teacher, so they're...
Depending on where the need
They're
is.
having to
Yeah.
adjust where they're
Dr.
needed.
Koza had said when we did the Feedwire Farms that the highest attendance in Bellbrook schools was 2006.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been declining ever since. So
Yeah.
Feedwire Farms go in, he said, I have no impact on number of teachers or any capacity.
And interestingly enough, even the Ed Choice students that are going out of district, that's
They're
not
saying
an
there's not
impact
a
either.
correlation.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you.
So is the Ed Choice money grant money, or is it coming from, how they'll do like seat counts and?
So my understanding is that Ed Choice money is coming from the Bellbrook school system. So the Bellbrook school system's money, instead of going to Bellbrook, is going to the private schools.
Correct. And do you want to make a comment about how we're doing with the 20 mil ceiling?
You go ahead.
After you. You were
Well,
at the meeting.
They didn't talk a lot about that, other than, so I guess as far as the 20 mil ceiling, and Fred's on this board, so he's more intelligent on it than I am, but there was some discussion about that we are the only school district in Greene County that meets that requirement. So it's good and bad for us, but as far as property taxes, I guess a lot of the other residents throughout the county are getting some kickback for what they're paying in property tax, because their school district does not meet that 20 mil floor, but we do not in Bellbrook Sugar Creek. So that hurts us in that way, but the school is being very responsible in trying to keep that, because, and that's where I'm not as fully understanding what the benefit of that is, but they are
I'm
very much.
impressed with the only school in Greene County that does not go over this 20 mil ceiling, which means there's no additional taxes applied to your real estate tax. Beaver Creek and all those guys, they're getting additional taxes added to their real estate taxes because they went over this 20 mil levy. So I think our school district is doing an exceptional job in that area, and I think there is some downside.
So I guess there, the county right now is giving them a kickback to cover part of that.
Part of that.
But we do not qualify
We
for
don't
that.
qualify
So
because we didn't
that's
have
the
that.
part I was missing. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. Our next meeting will be on July 20th at 12 p.m. is our next meeting. And we have talked about, we will not be making any decisions, but we are going to talk about the pros and cons of having a marijuana dispensary in Sugar Creek Township. So, well, cannabis dispensary, okay, recreational. So if you would like to come back to our meeting, we are giving 5 minutes per person attending. If you would like to come make public comments, pro or con, just for the trustees to hear. And we invite anyone that is available or would like to make comments about that. So you can tell anyone that you know that we are just trying to hear from the community on what you're thinking about that subject. I got a email from Hope Taft, and she is just asking if anyone is interested in investing in a Little River Cafe in Oregonia. It goes up for auction on July 8th, and they have some commitments to support this, but they are trying to get other people. So if anyone is interested in supporting a little community River Cafe.
I know somebody that might.
Okay, all right.
Friends.
Okay, well, here, I'll give you that. All right,
I'll take it.
When you
okay.
say support, you mean buy it?
They have $500,000 already committed towards it, so I think they're looking at more of a collaborative, not a single buyer, but a collaborative group of people to buy or to contribute towards it. So, so you can learn more.
Yeah.
That's the information I have.
I'm going to turn it over to somebody, and I'm.
Gotcha, okay. And we did reach out since the last meeting to the person asking about shielding for the pickleball courts at our Veterans Memorial and between the homes behind the pickleball courts. And we are planting both Norwegian spruce and arborvitae, and that will be planted in October because we are getting so hot and dry, we cannot support that right now. So they're coming, and we are keeping all of our promises to everyone, but it's not happening quite yet.
And we know all about our variety
Yes.
from when we went to Hope's
Yes.
reception.
And I do have a question about Demarest Coffee. So I know the Wednesday 8:30 a.m. event, but I thought we had talked about that there was, it was going to be a one-way traffic pattern, and now I'm seeing as they built the going in and going out, it looks like they can enter and exit off of Feedwire Upper Bell and Alpha Bellbrook.
I'll have to take a look at it.
So when you look at it, it looks like if you're heading eastbound, you can go in from Feedwire Upper Bell, but you cannot enter if you're westbound. If you're heading towards Xenia, it looks
Like a right-in,
like,
right-out only?
and the arrows indicate that it's an in and out. So I don't believe that's what we approved. So I'm not sure if
I'll
there was a
confirm
disconnect.
consistency with the
but-
approved plan.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you could just look
absolutely.
at that.
Yeah.
It seemed a little different than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Gotcha, all right. We are continuing to look at the baby box for our public safety building, and we have gotten the Safe Haven baby box people have gotten the contract back to us, and I heard from David Hayes, they're thinking we are getting close to having a negotiated contract. If that happens, I should say when and if that happens, hopefully, we will, the next step that I would like to take is to get all of the players, including both departments, leadership here, but also Greene County Children's Services, the commissioners, anyone that might be involved if we were to have a baby released to the county that way. I'd like to get all of their inputs and what that procedure would look like, and then also start planning what the dedication ceremony would look like, and potentially people that have donated to it too, just to make sure we're all on the same page, we've considered everything, and have a plan moving forward. So just so you know, that's something we're considering to do soon, hopefully. And I know at the last meeting, we talked about the bike hike path and trying to connect our paths in the area to potentially Spring Valley, Kettering, Centerville, both directions on Feedwire. We are continuing to look at that, and we are going to work with NVRPC and see if there's any way to find local money for that. And I was just talking to Kara about that today. So the big issue with that is finding the money for the local match. If we were to get money from the state, that is the issue, is ways to find out how to fund that. But we are going to continue to look for ways to get that done.
So you're running with that piece,
Yes, and I will reach out to them.
okay? And
And
I'm
we'll
more
work with
than
the
willing
parks, yeah.
To go to any meetings that need to do to get that done. And then Kara, then you and Barry are setting up something with the parks?
Right,
And
correct.
that's Greene County
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
parks, not just Sugar Creek.
And I also would be more than willing to go to any of those meetings, just to try to keep the ball going on that one, so, all right.
What is still called Connect Green or Green Connect, is it?
So fast. So Connect Green had 3 phases to it. One was from Yellow Springs to Clifton Mill. The other one was 3 connectors in Xenia. This portion would only be the third component, which is just from Bellbrook to Spring Valley. Brian Martin went with us to Washington DC and presented with us to the congressman and senators, so he's well aware of the 3 pieces. We're going to take 2 of the pieces out and just do the Spring Valley, or Bellbrook to Spring Valley.
And Brian Hausch in Yellow Springs at one point was sort of leading that initiative, but he was not reelected. So I think that initiative is sort of, it's going by the wayside some. So we just don't want our part of it to fall off also. So we will just take the initiative
And
there.
I talked to Brian and Forrest and TJ Hoke, and they're both very supportive of this action.
Especially with all the downtown revitalization stuff that they're interested in seeing happen. I think that connection would be super important.
All right, next we will move to public comments, limited to 5 minutes per person, agenda-related business only. So is there anyone that would like to say anything at this point about agenda-related items? And if you are interested, please come up to the podium and state your name and address. All right. Okay. Old business, we had the community meeting with the city of Bellbrook, the parks, the schools, and the township. And I see on here, it's still showing June 1st, so that did not happen. And we're trying to plan the community meeting after, generally the school always likes to do it while school is in session, since vacations and all. So we will get that updated for that. All right, consent agenda items, we have the payment of bills, the minutes, amended resolution 2026.04.20.06, the appointment of part-time fire department admin staff Joanne Zimmerman, and that was expected and always the plan that she will come back to support us, an increase in appropriations for the general fund, and in accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission. So do you want to talk to those last two?
Two comments.
Yeah.
One on the appropriation. First of all, it's the increase to finish paying for the memorial or the pickleball courts, which we anticipated. We knew this was coming, and we received a $90,000 grant to pay that. So the money came in, and actually the last bill, I believe, is a little less than the 90. So we did anticipate that. The accepting the amounts and rates determined, the county basically sent out a resolution, and then we are asked to certify those expected tax revenues for 2027. Typically, it happens this time of year. One comment is they're most likely conservative on their numbers, and our increase from 25, or from 26 to 27 is roughly 3%, so.
And with respect to Joanne's resolution, the pension system requires a certain amount of time between retiring and being rehired. our resolution had an incorrect date, so this is just updating her start date.
Okay, that sounds great. I do have a question for Rich, probably. For the memorial, I know we had like Phase 1 and Phase 2, and Phase 2 included, now that we have the pickleball court in Demarest Coffee coming in, it included a bike hike walk path along Feedwire Road on the north side of the road there to potentially cross the street on that side. Do you know, is Barry or is anyone looking at that, and do we even have funding left?
I
for
don't
that?
remember a number for that.
Okay. I know at one point we talked about
that was a long time
having
ago, I
a
think.
second phase in, but we're still also waiting on the granite markers and
Right.
so some of the other things here, too. So,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
not familiar with that
Okay,
number at
all
all.
right, we will keep that on the burner here. Okay,
I'll ask Barry as well.
all right. So is there anything that you think we need to take off of consent agenda items?
No.
Okay, I will make a motion that we accept all of the consent agenda items as presented.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Ms. DeStefani?
Yes.
And Ms. Puderball?
All right. Next, we will move to discussion agenda items. And I'll start off on that. We did last meeting present a proclamation, or suggest that we have a proclamation celebrating America's 250th wedding anniversary. 250th anniversary, not wedding anniversary. So our birthday, yes. So I hope everyone enjoyed a wonderful Independence Day. And we've got some very nice verbiage here, but I will not read it in the interest of time, since people are trying to get out of here. But I just wanted to let everyone know that will be part of the packet, and you can see that online as well. And we got the update on the landing, so that is all I had in Tree City. So those were the three things I was going to discuss. Is there anything else? Anything, Kara?
We're going to have an executive session to go over the,
Yeah, we're not
Please.
there quite yet, but,
Okay,
yep, okay. Next, we will move to public comments, limited to 5 minutes per person, township-related business. Would anyone like to talk anything about the township? All right, come on up.
Everybody's pressure. I'm Jeremy Hillbrand, live Waynesville Road. Wanted to bring up just you talk about the 250th anniversary of America. You might know I'm very liberty-based here. From our previous session, use of flock cameras, they're becoming a popular thing nationwide, and there's privacy concerns regarding those. It essentially is an AI-powered driven thing that can catalog all of our movements, not just the bad people. So most of us who are law-abiding, innocent people are being, hey, this guy goes through here at this time every day and goes back through here at this time, he went to town at this time. That's not really privacy. So I do have concerns with flock cameras. There's there's misuses of the data. There's been over 20 people, I think, nationwide, that's not a big number, but who have been charged with searching the data for purposes who are law enforcement or other, who like romantic interests or whatever, stalking an ex, those sorts of things. Who the data is shared with. If you're familiar with the city of Dayton's flock camera scenario, they covered all theirs. They didn't like how the data was being used, and they suspended their contract indefinitely. City of Cleveland, they just last month, their safety committee, made the decision to recommend to their council that they not renew their contract with Flock because the Cleveland Police Department could not provide any data that crime was reduced. I understand their tool. I'm very pro law enforcement, don't get me wrong here. I work in the EMS environment. I'm just more pro freedom. And the
MS environment?
EMS.
EMS, okay.
EMS. Yes, I work in that environment. There's been over 50 jurisdictions that I'm aware of through the country that initially contracted with Flock and then have now decided not to and have backed away from that. Curious what the return on investment is with that. I'm sure it's a tool to help solve this case here, or this random case, but does it prevent anything, root causes? There's like 90,000 of them, I think, roughly nationwide. Palantir, do you know that name?
Yes.
The founder, Peter Thiel, he helped fund the growth of Flock. There's no coincidence there. The FBI is soliciting right now a contract to be estimated $30-40 million to have access to all this data. So I guess, who's it being shared with? Do we have an internal audit of all this data? And then, is it getting our return on investment? Is it worth it? I'd say put another officer on the street if we think we have a problem versus catalog all of us. But, and then, not the what-if scenarios, but we went through a pandemic, which a lot of things happened that none of us probably expected, but you had lockdowns, right? You could be for or against those, but now that these things are in place, what if you're not supposed to be out? Hey, this person's driving through and they're supposed to be locked at home because the government said you're not supposed to be out. So who knows what's next, but this is a mass surveillance tool when you look at it as a entirety. And a wise man, I think it was 1755, I'm not positive, don't quote me on my history, but said, paraphrasing, don't sacrifice freedoms or for the purpose of safety or security, essentially, and that was Benjamin Franklin, or you deserve none. So eventually you will lose those items. And it's a creep, it's slow, and these things have spread like wildfire. And the last thing I'll close with is, if you don't think the name of flock is a coincidence, like, just think about the name flock. They're monitoring the sheep, they're monitoring us, there's 80,000 of these things. Why'd they name it flock? It's pretty dehumanizing and sinister, but that's my thought on those.
Okay.
And I don't know how many we have or when the contract's up, but I think it's something worth looking at, and especially when we've got examples here in Ohio that are going away from it because of data issues. So, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Okay, we thank you for your comments.
That's very interesting.
And, I don't know, between the two of you, could we potentially come up, do you want to say something now, Chief, or would you, I'm just thinking perhaps we should try to do some research, and let's look at pros and cons and contract time frame, and
we can look at
Okay.
all of it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's look at that. All
And
right.
the people that are doing, the folks in Montgomery County that are doing that suburb meetings.
Oh, yes.
Flock cameras, their next meeting.
Oh, do you have a date for
I
that?
don't.
Okay.
I will get with Brian.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a good one
That would be a good one.
for all of us to attend. Okay, that would be great. All right, are there any other public comments? All right, okay. We will move to trustee and staff discussion. Is there anything before we go to executive session? Okay, with that, I will make a motion that we adjourn to executive session per Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22, Section G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Ms. Puderball?
Yes.
Mr. Stephanie?
Yes, and we'd like everyone here and Chief Brown to join us, and there will be a short
I'd like
comment.
everyone to join us.
Chief Brown and everyone up here to join us. And there will be one small follow-up item after that. If someone would like to stay, you're welcome to.
Working on it. I'm doing my best, Donna, I promise you, I'm doing my best.
The time is 8:19 PM, and we are back from executive session. And I will make a motion that we accept resolution number 2026.07.06.03, collective bargaining agreement with the FOP for full-time police sergeants and the full-time records clerk. Whereas the collective bargaining agreement between Sugar Creek Township and the Fraternal Order of Police expired effective March 31st, 2026, and whereas in accordance with law, a team consisting of the township administrator, assistant township administrator, police chief, and legal counsel negotiated with the local bargaining unit representatives of the FOP to establish a collective bargaining agreement between the township and the FOP. Now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Trustees hereby agrees and authorizes execution of the negotiated 3-year collective bargaining agreement between Sugar Creek Township and the Township FOP. Further be it resolved, this contract shall be in effect upon its filings with SERB, S-E-R-B. So I make that motion?
I second that.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Stephanie?
Yes.
And Ms. Poodle?
All right, motion carries. Is there anything else for the good of the order? Okay, it is 8:21, and I will make a motion that we adjourn.
I second that.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Stephanie?
Yes.
And Ms. Poodle?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. All right, thank you,
Get the
everyone.
hammer back.